So I am trying out a technique that I just saw on Jennifer McGuire, and oh my god, it is totally awesome. This is this is a piece of Recollections, like silver holographic cardstock, and you can probably see that they are very similar. So this is the other half, but I ran it through my embossing folder. This is the new one, the splatter one from Spellbinders, and what she said to do was to sand off the tops. Now I don't have a sanding block, but I have this is like a sanding, it's for your nails, but I use that to sand off kind of the tops. And I don't know if you can see it or not, but I added ink in different places on there. Like you can see there is like a ring of red around this one and blue. So I've got blue and I've got a bunch of Catherine Pooler ink, so I was playing. And I think this would be a really cool background for, of course, one of my favorite new sets, the Paint Your World. So I'm going to go ahead and assemble a couple more paintbrushes and then put that on the front of this iridescent with all of that inky goodness. I mean, this is pretty with or without the additional ink, but I'm going to be practicing a little bit and trying it out on some different metallic-y kinds of cardstock. Now this one I thought was just, craft cardstock with the silver on top, but when I was sanding down I actually started getting to a white core, and I was thinking that this was a brown core. So I don't know what's going on there, but what she recommended was using a metallic or glossy cardstock that has a white core to do this. So I'm pretty happy with the way that that is turning out. I know there's a lot of glare, but I think you can see that oil slick kind of shine, and I'm going to go ahead and finish putting this stuff together and show you the finished card. Okay, I see now why it was so hard to see everything on the screen earlier. My settings were wrong. The exposure was a little high. So now you can see it a little bit better, where it's got a little bit of extra color in some of the areas. I'm thinking if I did this on plain silver, you'd probably be able to see the addition of the red and the blues and such on there. What else I've decided to do is to cut out a little frame. This is actually from a couple of dies from Spellbinders. It's part of the fluted frame set, and the way each of those fluted frames works is you've got an inner and an outer frame to go around the fluted part. So you take the outer side of one and the inner side of another. It gets a little thin frame that works perfect for this. And I'm going to go ahead and adhere that down in the center. I'm also taking a couple of sentiments. I love this one. This is one of the new ones. I got in 2 different sentiment glimmer sets, so I'll have to put down which one it is down in the description, but I think that will work really well as well. So let me go ahead and glue this down. And then I decided I'm also going to put it on a black card base. So we shall see how this is going to turn out. So I cut the panel in half and actually a little smaller so that it gives a bit of a border around it when I put it on a card base. So let's see if I can get that straight. Okay, so that looks pretty good. And then I'm going to just put my little paintbrush on the front and my sentiment, and I think that is going to work pretty well. On this one I think I am going to also though add some foam tape to the back because I love dimension, and this time I'm going to use my thin foam tape from Scotch. And I am having a little trouble getting it on there straight, so I am going to add some liquid adhesive to the back of my foam so it'll give me just a little bit of wiggle room. Okay, I want that bigger splotch down at the bottom. Okay, that looks pretty good. I didn't put any glue underneath the bristles, so let me add a little bit there, because otherwise they are going to be popping up a lot. And it's not really wanting to adhere, that's part of it. It is the surface of this paper, but that I think looks really, really cool. So while that one is drying, let me go ahead and put together my second card. And for this one, I've got one of the smaller paintbrushes. This one is from the Painter's Palette, I think. There are actually a couple of, well, there's several different ones in these sets, and they are just incredible. But any of your paintbrushes, actually any artsy type of stamp or die would work great, I think, for this. I'm going to put this one going this direction. Add the sentiment. And I know we're not really playing with glue, but you could play with glue with a paintbrush, right? I just love the crafty sentiment. So while it's face down, I'm going to go ahead and put some foam tape on the back of this one and adhere it down. And then fix any places where the glue is not wanting to stick. And that is finishing up this card project. These are awesome. I wasn't actually even planning on turning on the camera, and then I thought, you know, I think I'm going to try that. And when it turned out so nice, on a first attempt, I had to make them into some cards. So anyway, you guys can take a look at this other video over here to see some other things that I'm making with some Spellbinders products. And look at that. You can do this. Awesome. So you guys enjoy your have a great day, and remember, if I can make it, you can too.